Hello there, you're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. Let's have a look at this new record from Ann Wilson entitled Fierce Bliss. She released that on April 29th. It's the Heart Singer's third solo project and her follow-up to 2018's Immortal. I definitely think it's worth noting that this is the first of her solo projects to include covers and originals, so I'm loving that about this record. I really dig the fact that we've gotten a solo project from Nancy and now Ann within the last year. It's prompted the rumor mill to spin a little bit. It's not anything I'm going to keep spinning on this channel. I don't think that Heart is breaking up. I would argue that after a 50-year relationship especially, sometimes people personally and artistically need to branch off and do their own thing for growth, and I think that that's what's going on here. But like I said, I think it makes both projects worth your time, especially Ann's record. I love the energy and the feel of this album. That good blues-driven hard rockin' vibe, that Heart sound that you would expect from the 70s. I think it's that Heart sound that all of us fans really love. Now, what I will say is that I have a soft spot for the 80s stuff. It is a guilty pleasure. I love 80s Heart, the big commercially driven anthemic stuff. I know that there's a lot of people that don't care for it, but what I dig about this new project is that she's celebrating her whole career. So while you're getting that big 70s influence, there's just hints of that 80s style, little textures and feels that come in at just the right moments. And I think that even people that are not fans of the 80s music overall will appreciate some of the influences on these songs as they listen to this record. I found it to be super fun for that reason. Like some of the guest appearances on this album, really making for some killer guitar solos, and we'll get into that as I run down the track list on this thing. But yeah, I like that Ann found herself in a spot writing a couple of songs, and that the energy was good enough to create this whole record, and it's something I'm really excited about. 11 tracks, 50 minutes, managed to get it all on one single disc here, so I'll post a link on her page for that, or if you got a killer record shop that's nearby your place, definitely support your local music stores. I'm sure they have this record available to you. But let's get into the track listing. It opens up with Greed. It's just got this big brooding rolling bass drum that brings in a rockin' opener. I really like the way that this song kicks off the album. It's got this great 80s blues rockin' vibe. I like the just feel of Stevie Ray Vaughan and just a little bit of synth too, and that's what I'm talking about. Just that tiny bit of 80s texturing in these songs really make them fun to listen to, make them unique, and make them feel fresh. It's a sound that is going to feel very familiar, but I like the new energy that she's bringing with these tracks. Blackwing is your second song. It's got these reverberating keys and Ann's voice that bring in the track. I love the intro. It's got this mellow kind of like outlaw country blues vibe to it. It's great minimal instrumentation, another really nice track. Bridge of Sighs got a Robin Trower cover here. Great song here. Love the psychedelic guitar. It kicks into this just like sludgy slow jam. It's got a mean solo from Kenny Wayne Shepherd too, one of the great guest appearances on this record. Loving that. Fighting for Your Life is your fourth track. It's got this loose percussion that really provides an excellent framework for all the fun instrumentation that works in and out of this song. It's got a psychedelic feel. It's kind of a sinister jam as well, but the chorus gets a little bright as far as the energy. It's really a very unique, fun song, liking just the overall psychedelic feel. A lot of that 70s heart in that song I'm feeling. Love of My Life is your fifth song featuring Vince Gill. He's bringing in a great vocal element. Really liking the harmonies on this Queen cover here. It's got this just nice pop and chamber pop element, piano ballad. It's a really darn good cover. I'm definitely not going to say it's better than Queen's, but it's nicely done, and it's a great way to finish up this A side. Like the way that you get some really rockin' tracks and some interesting stuff on that A side, and this is a good way to close it out. And then you flip this thing over, Missionary, man, you get an excellent Eurythmics cover to kick off your B side, and this arguably could be a better than the original. It's got this wonderful rockin' energy. I really like the way Ann Wilson is working with this cover. Your 7-track Gladiators got this. It's just this epic rocker. Great solo from Warren Haynes from Government Mule. He's going to show up again on this record, but loving his solo on that song and the energy from that. Forget Her is your 8th track. It's just really digging this song. It's got this excellent reverb in the guitars and the bass and the way it builds. It sounds like doo-wop rock and roll, and it's just really got this slightly ambient feel. It's kicks in and takes on this really nice blues rock and feel towards the end of the song, about halfway through it, I should say. But it's I like the dynamic there. I like the shift in the energy. A Moment in Heaven is your 9th song. Is definitely the best lyrical moment on this album. I love the solid rock and roll energy of this track, but I want to pull these lyrics up. This is brutal. Ann says, an accidental hit, that's some transcendental shit. Reach back down into the well, recreate the magic spell. Same toy, same heat. Second one's just not as sweet. And I think that for any haters, any people that are doubting Anne's energy, because let's be real, she's dealt with a lot of haters over the year. There's a lot of people that have been very critical of her efforts and of her personally as well. I think you have your answer right there. If you want to bring any shade on her, go ahead and just read that lyric. She gives zero you-know-whats. I'm loving this song for that moment. Angels Blues is your penultimate track. Another great solo from Warren Haynes on this thing. It's just a filthy, chunky blues rocker. It's got a nice Zeppelin feel too, especially in Anne's vocals, and we all know the connection there. But this is the one moment on this record where, really channeling Robert Plant as far as her voice, and she's got a great soprano. I love her voice, always have. And As the World Turns is your final track. It's this mellow rocker. It's got a bit of gospel and country flair. Nice way to close this thing out. I'm loving this record, loving the value on it. It's not a double record. I saw the runtime and just wanted to double check. Sometimes you can get an album with that runtime on one disc. She managed to do it. We're going to definitely vinyl please this thing for that reason, and because this album just rocks. It's just a fun celebration of an incredible woman and her remarkable career. So I hope you enjoyed this record. I hope you find this review helpful. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help me blow this project up in 2022, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. We got a big one coming up this week. We'll see you next time on the Beat Sessions.